everybody, welcome to MUSE TV. I'm Michael Sandoval, and today we're talking about this short animation that I just saw that's really good. It's called WindUp, and we have two of the people behind this animated short, Yibing Jiang and Jason Keane from WindUp. How is everything going? Since I've heard this is the final interview you have to do for this. How are you doing?
We're good. Yeah.
That's
almost
good.
Finished.
That's good to hear. But it's such a great short film. I saw it last night, and what an inspirational story and such great animation. Where did the story come from? And can you please tell us a little bit of backstory of how this all got started?
WindUp is actually inspired by my own personal experiences. I was often sick when I was a kid, but my memory of those days kind of foggy. On the other hand, from my parents' perspective, the event was way more serious. They told me they spent countless nights taking care of me and fighting their own emotions. I didn't know why they were so worried when I was kids. But as I got older, I started to empathize more and more with my parents. Since I moved to US and far away from my home, it makes me the one who worry about them a lot. Especially recently, since Wuhan is my hometown, like quickly after the news, the whole city shut down, which never happened before. I got word that my uncle had to stop his cancer treatment because the overwhelming COVID patient, and both my cousins still need to work in the hospital where a lot of coworkers already got infected. I video chat with them as often as I could, but once the camera turned off, all the horrible just rushed back in. Um, and that was the time we were crunching for this film. I remember we animating the hospital sequence where the father is sitting on the floor and feel hopeless. Moment I could fully sympathize with his pain. I guess this is a good example of life imitates art, especially now at the time where people around the world are isolating, craving for connections, and also some of us are preoccupied by the health and well-beings of loved ones. I think the story of WindUp is very relevant.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that really hit me hard because I remember going through when my mom was in the hospital and when she passed away. And it really hit
Sorry.
home. It really hit home, those story and the way the animation felt, and it brought it into the unconsciousness of what maybe she was thinking during that time when she was in a coma. And I love those animated sequences and the way you did it and the way you showed of her being in her own little world. When it comes to the animation, Jason, what was some of the challenges of putting this together and bringing this to screen?
Well, for the animation, our first step was to figure out like the personalities and who the Kiki was, the girl, and the father. Meeting Yibing, she has this energy to her, this spark of life, and right away it was like, oh, it's got to be Kiki, and she a playfulness as you see her slide down and play some hopscotch as she's trying to search for the music. It was a perfect choice because it kind of gave that emotional punch to contrast when you see her in the hospital. And the father, actually, I drew a lot of inspiration. My wife became pregnant during production, and I was like, okay, well, first time father, and I was able to kind of project that mentality going on. The other big challenge for us animators, because we were coming from film, was using this new technology, which was the real-time rendering with Unity. And but when we first saw it, I finished a scene, put it into Unity, and I was blown away. It was like a revelation. I was able to see that final product that you see on the screen, the audience sees instantaneously. The film's not even close to being done, but there it is. And normally or traditionally in Blue Sky or Disney or wherever, it'll take months to see that final image. And right then, with how the light and the glint in the eye and like the hair is. It allows the animator kind of get transported and feel more like the character. And it kind of, I think, makes the performance, enhances the performance by making it a little bit more authentic for us as the performers. And so it was a kind of it's very cool technology for the animators to have had.
Was it always the idea of using this type of technology, or was there an idea of doing hand drawn, or was this like, we want to do it this way and this is the way we're going to go for this animation?
Like traditionally, animation, they have like a linear pipeline. You know, you start with, each department. I work in Pixar and Disney before. Sometimes, like, we never have the chance to talk to the different department. Like, I'm working on environments. I never have the chance to talk to animators. Sometimes we don't even see the character in the scene. Like, we work on the environment, but that's cause a problem because like we don't see the final result in our stage. We see the current stage of the film, and it looks quite different than the final result of the film. And we have to imagine what's the final film should look like. And that's why for animation production, a lot of polishing work have to drag all the way to the very end, because until then, we can see something close to resembling the final image. But like real-time rendering fixed that by making each department, because they can see the result instantly, which means everyone can start together, collaborating and polishing the work in parallel. It's like also it helps with trying different ideas. Like for example, we change the camera a lot during like when they do the animation. Usually, like in traditional way, you have to lock the camera and then you have to make sure things are done. That's why like sometimes animators like been told like start to animate this shot this week, and then they told that, "No, okay, change plan next week," and then change the plan because they're not they have to make sure something's locked before animation started. But in our way, it's like we keep on changing the story until the very end. Even the animation sometimes already finished. Like it happens several times. Like a story change requires the whole set change as well. We could easily move the character and the whole set of animation to a totally different environment, which is unthinkable in traditional animation.
Basically allows all the departments to kind of work simultaneously at once and streamlining the whole process. So it was a faster production in that way.
Yeah, what you see is what you get.
Right. And that's the one thing that was cool. Like the one thing people don't realize is how many people work on an animation such as this. I mean, this is a 9-minute animation. You had such an amazing team who brought this story to life. When it comes to the story, what was it about the story that you wanted to really trickle down? Because were you thinking of a longer feature, or was it always meant to be a short story to develop into a short story?
Because this is my first film, it started a little bit messy. Like, I really want to make sure the story is good, but like as I said, like I keep on changing the story until the very last minute. Like Jason hated it. Um, uh, at the beginning, we have the idea to have the characters to have dialogues, but then we change it to be dialogue free because we believe like music is universal languages. And also like along the way of making this film, we got a lot of good advices about stories, like such as write down the theme of the story at the big letters. So try to make sure we don't drift away of what's the actual meaning of these movies. So for the next time, I definitely want to make sure I have the theme of the story clearly before the production started so that we can save a lot of time. yeah, it's a progress. Like the story of our film is quite different from the when we have the idea than the final film we got.
It's kind of testament to also the real-time rendering, I think, because we were able to.
Yes, I'm a big fan now.
A little bit. I mean, I feel like sometimes films, one of the best films, have this organic feel. You need to mix and match, trial and error, and you know, you can't right away just know what's going to work. There needs to be this organic feeling. You can't just place this and place that and say, oh, magic. You want to feel what the character feels. You want to fall into that world, and it sometimes takes that trial and error. And again, with the real-time rendering, you're able to experiment a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing I really do love about this film is that it's gonna touch a lot of hearts. I think as soon as more people see it, and more people see it, it's gonna touch a lot of hearts and touch a lot of feelings with a lot of people who have experienced that, and especially now with what we're going through right now. And sometimes it feels like there isn't a light at the end of the tunnel, and this film will show you that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it will be okay. And I think no better time than now. A short film like this is great to have come out. What do you tell kids who are watching this and who want to be animators? What advice can you give them?
Just a
Sure. I mean, for me, I would be open to opportunities and always wanting to learn. If they're interested in animation, you know, don't get caught up in, you know, one type of style of animation, or I have to do this or I have to do that. Sometimes things just come up, and it could be the best thing. Like Yibing calling me up, hey, you know, can we need someone to run the animation? You know what? All right. And it was a tremendous experience, and I wouldn't have met all the people I met. So, yeah, I think that's like the best advice.
My suggestion, I think, is like if you truly love animation, you should never give up. Like I dream about to make animation since I was very young, but since I was born in China, like with Asian parents, it's like, no, you have to be either lawyer, doctor, or engineer. So I actually finished my degree, master degree. Oh, sorry, I don't know why. Master degree of engineering, and then it's like, hey, this is yours. And I decided to throw that all over and came to US in 2008 and tried to chase my animation dream. That, like, I never outside of China before that. Like my first stop is New York. Like what the reason I chose New York is because I heard there's earthquake in California. Like that's how much information I know about United States. And I barely speak English. But then 9 months later, 9 months after I arrived in US, I got called from Disney Animation. Like there's a lot of opportunity out there, but you have to try, you have to believe yourself and do your best.
And this animation is great. I'm looking forward to see what else you're going to be working on and see what your next projects are. You could see WindUp now on YouTube, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, and we're going to put the link so everybody could watch it down in the description, so you could follow and watch WindUp, because this is a short animated film you have to watch. Yibing, Jason, thank you so much for stopping with us here on MUSE TV, and we look forward to talking with you soon for your next project that you're coming up.
Thank you.